Good evening. What is going on? It is Thursday, November 2nd. It is 11/2. Guess what's happening in 2 more days?
What,
Guess.
LBJ?
Take a
Is
guess what's
it?
happening in 2 more days. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it in the episode. Or if you
I
want to
know
think
what
about what's
it
happening in 2 more days, you can let me know. So
is.
come on, come on, come on. I've been screaming that the whole episode. That is Janis Joplin's A Piece of My Heart, tonight's
Yes.
Scandal Jam session. This is the Scandalous Scandal Recap. I am Larry Brown Jr., your host, joined by my fabulous and fantastic friend, the other host of the Scandal Recap, the Janiyah Wright. Janiyah, good evening. How are you?
Hi, LBJ. I am doing so well this evening. As usual, I am on a scandal high.
Woo!
That episode was everything,
I
LBJ.
just
It
say,
was
come
so
on, come on, come on, come on, Tiger!
It was
Boots!
so good. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so
It
good,
was so good.
LBJ.
And you know what else is so good? Everyone that has joined us in the chat
Yes.
tonight. I hope I have not awakened my son with the screaming that I'm doing down here in the basement. But Linda Gaston is here in the chat with us. Shar 90303 is here. And Richardson. Hey, Ann Richardson, have we ever seen you before? We're so glad you're here and joining
Yes.
us tonight. Mrs. Creole Davis, always love you in the chat. Kat Harlem, Grace, Charlene McKinney. Who else is with us? Janiyah? I see Normina's Harmony. Akosa O is here. Oh, guess who else is here? Janiyah's sister, Brittany Wright. What's up, Brittany? Hey, how you
Little
doing?
sister. LBJ, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Dan Blakemore's here. Sweet Z is here. LBJ, Kat Harlem, Normina's Harmony, LBJ, the whole family. Grace, oh my gosh. And of course, Mrs. Creole Davis is here. Charlene McKinney. Oh, LBJ, the gang's all here. The gang's all here.
The gang's all here, and everyone else is gathering themselves and going to join us as this conversation continues. Listen, if you're sharing the conversation online, use the hashtags at the bottom of my screen right here and Janiyah's screen. Let's see if you can point, Janiyah. Can you point to your recap hashtag right there? Let's see you point.
LBJ, I don't think I'm going to be good at this.
Uh-oh. Wait, let's see.
Is that it? Ta-da!
Oh, you cheated. Janiyah did like this. And I said, look, here, don't even. Anyhow, the hashtag for tonight's conversation, as always, is hashtag Scandal Recap. We can use this hashtag anywhere that is tracking hashtags. Listen, guys, tonight was an amazing episode of Scandal. And I am elated because, as you know, I am the oracle, the griot of this Scandal Recap. And I feel as if I am deserved. My accolades, lavish me with your love and praise for my predictions and all that is Scandal. We can talk about that at the end of the episode. Remember, we can. So there's two things. There's something in up. There's some up. Chaka Khan. Something about the number 2. There's something in 2 days, and then there's two things we should talk about. All right, so that's two things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, tonight let's hop into tonight's episode, The Babysitters Club. Tell us about it.
LBJ, I would be glad to. Everyone, this episode to me was so good. And I said it last week and I'll say it again. Shonda is reminding us right now why we fell in love with this show to begin with. I will tell you, over the past many seasons, there have been times where I've wondered, do we have enough here to keep this show going? There have been times, LBJ, where I have doubted. But I will tell you, Shonda is not letting that happen this season, LBJ. And so let's talk about where we left things last episode. Last episode, the last thing we saw was Olivia confronting her father, Eli Rowan Pope, because she figured out, LBJ, that he had crept himself right on up to Vermont and invited Fitz to come back in order to kind of remind her who she is, bring her back to herself, rescue her with his love. And LBJ, she figured it all out with Jake's help. She figured it all out and was confronting her father about it at the end of the last episode. And so tonight's episode, we picked up right there with Olivia and Eli face to face. Everybody's angry. And it's so good because this is old command talking to new command, but it's also father talking to daughter. And it's also person formerly in power and person currently in power. There's so many dynamics here, LBJ. There's also kind of the captor and the prisoner dynamic. So much at play. And you know what Olivia is doing? She is using so much, language to remind Eli Rowan Pope that, the old days are gone, buddy. Okay, I'm in power now. And she's telling him, hey, you really have crossed me. And now you're going to have a punishment, okay, which is that I've taken away all of your dinosaur bones and all of your belongings. And, you must think I enjoy punishing you. But I don't. And LBJ, they continued to have some banter back and forth. And we watch Eli Rowan Pope just have this look of hopelessness about him. Well, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Olivia's telling him, you know what? I want you to sit here being punished. Number one, I don't want you to talk to me because talking to me is a privilege.
Wait, Janiyah. We owe our friends in the live chat and everyone who tunes into the Scandal Recap, we owe them a replay. Okay, I am always Papa Pope. He had very few words during this conversation. You now have to become Olivia.
That's fine.
So
I'm ready for this.
let's do this. Let's let them know, as many of you know, some people who tune in live and watch our Scandal Recap will watch this without having watched the show first, and then they'll go back and watch the show having watched us recap and analyze this, right? So we try our best to give you the monologues as verbatim as possible. Listen, we take creative license, but we still give you the crux of the conversation without altering any plot lines or anything else. So go with us and we will do this. Dan Blakemore, yes, I see you in the chat. Dan Blakemore says, yes, Larry Brown Jr., bring Rowan through. Let me tell you. Shaka Khan. Rowan had very few words this episode. And I was like, oh, yes, call me for Rowan tonight, guys, because I don't have that much acting. It's all on Janiyah. So, Janiyah, without further ado, we're about to do Rowan and Olivia at the top of the episode. All right. I will bring us in and cut to interior of Smithsonian. Dinosaur is removed. Olivia and Rowan are inside of Smithsonian. Camera clicks. Olivia, what is the problem?
Do you think I enjoy punishing you? Do you think I just love watching you sit here playing in this abandoned space day in and day out? I don't enjoy it. I'm disgusted by you, in fact. But you brought this on yourself.
What do you mean? I brought this on myself, Olivia?
You know what I mean. Going up to Vermont, talking with Fitz, bringing him down here as if he is going to be a knight in shining armor to remind me of some former self. Well, I will tell you who's going to do some reminding. It is me reminding you that you are under my control. Everything that you have right now, I have given to you. And guess what? I've now taken it all away.
But Olivia, what?
Oh, there is no but. There is no but. All right, I have one job for you, and it is not to talk to me. All right, talking to me is a privilege that you no longer have. Okay, playing with your bones, a privilege you no longer have. You have one job to do right now, and that is to talk to Fitz and tell him to go home.
That's the only thing that you want me to do?
That's it.
Real applause for Janiyah, everybody. Real applause for Janiyah. She did Olivia, and that's exactly what happened. Rowan had all of 25 words in that opening scene of Scandal. Olivia was sitting in the interior of that Smithsonian office, and she was like, I took your little dinosaur project away. I know you love it. And she said, listen, this entire life you're living now is a privilege, sir.
Yeah.
I am the privilege giver. I am the privilege maker. You have to do what I say. Bow down, kiss the ring, do what I tell you to do, and all will be well. Your only job is to go to Fitz and tell Fitz to go home because he is now in the way of all that is going on. Let's listen, Janiyah. People are giving you high praise in the chat. Charlene, McKinney, people are giving you the high praise in the chat. I love it. I love it. Listen.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
What is to be said about that conversation? So let's before we talk about the conversation, let's talk about the full Olivia and Rowan situation tonight, right? So Rowan essentially took Olivia's advice. She took her directive. She took her what? Commands. And he went to Fitz and he told Fitz, you have to go home. Olivia is instructing you to go home. I have no other instructions to give you but to go home. She's told me to tell you to go home. We got a little bit of Rowan's monologue and his rhythm and his delivery in the conversation with Fitz, because that's the only place that he could direct that. Because remember, in his mind, he is still power and command over Fitz. Fitz, who he sees as a boy. Fitz, who he sees as the one who sees his daughter as a girlfriend. Fitz, the one who saw him cry. And he is the one who also is the one who he is also trying to be chummy with. So the whole thing is gray with Rowan and Fitz right now. Let's fast forward through the entire Rowan Fitz situation and Olivia. Rowan has a conversation with Fitz. Fitz goes to Olivia and he's like, I talked to your daddy. Your daddy told me to go home. I'm not going home. I'm staying here. Olivia's like, what are you doing here? I told you to leave. You're not supposed to be here. Don't you see my new hair weave? I have a new hairdo. I have a new attitude. I've had a new attitude all this season. This is the final season. Don't you know I'm in command? I run this entire ship. I am the captain of this ship. I'm the captain of my fate. I'm the captain of your fate. And you will do as I tell you. You will go home. He's like, okay, Olivia. Whatever, Olivia. So Fitz essentially goes and talks to his ex-wife. He goes and talks to Mellie. He tells Mellie everything. I'm talking about everything except for some of the things that he's done as Fitz. Did you notice that he did not tell what he's done as Fitz, some of his darkness, but he told Olivia's dark secret. Olivia's dark secret, she killed Luna Vargas. Mellie comes back to Olivia. Olivia, you killed Luna Vargas? She's like, yeah, I did. She's trying to kill you. I had to kill her sister, friend. Hold my hand. I've got you. This is what we should do. Oh, you won't do anything like this. Disassemble, disband. Don't do any more of this B613 stuff. I just heard about it. I've never even heard of a B613. Is that a bomb? Is that an everlasting gobstopper? What is that, Olivia? Like, are we in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory? What's going on? Where are the Oompa Loompas with a B613? The chocolate, Charlie. I don't know what's going on, Olivia. Just disassemble dismantle it all. Olivia's like, listen. I got you, boo. Okay, whatever you want. Like, I got it. Olivia continues on. Long story short, we cut back to Fitz and Olivia. And what's going on, Janiyah, with Fitz and Olivia? Fitz is going home before the end of the episode. Why? Tell us what happened.
Well, it's so interesting, LBJ. And I got to just slow it down for just a minute here. Because we started the episode with Olivia so high on her high horse. She was telling everybody what they were about to do. She was reminding Papa Pope that she now had power over him and that he was under her thumb. She was absolutely telling Fitz the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, telling him to go home. All right. And LBJ, she walks in to now Fitz has flipped the script and Mellie has somehow forgotten once again who's really in control. And she starts bossing Olivia around. So we watch Olivia go from being on this very high horse to now being in this moment where it's almost like Mellie is once again seizing her true power. Not her implied power, not the power that's been allocated to her by Olivia, but she leaned into the reality that she is president of the United States. And she's telling Olivia to shut it down. And you see on Olivia's face that she contemplates the fact that there might be a scenario where Mellie can't tell me what to do. And we see all of that on her face, LBJ. And then she continues throughout the episode to do things to try to get Fitz to go home. They have another interaction where she is telling him to go home. He turns his back on her, LBJ, in that conversation and shuts it down. So real and raw, saying, no, I'm not going anywhere, Olivia. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not going anywhere, Olivia, until you look like someone that I used to know, until you return to yourself and return to the woman that I know and the woman that you know. And then, you know what? She turns and says to him, okay, well, fine. She says that silently. Okay, fine. And then LBJ, she waits throughout the episode to rebuild her alliance with Mellie. We'll talk about how she does that a little later. She rebuilds her alliance with Mellie and then has Mellie send Fitz packing. By the end of the episode, Olivia and Mellie's alliance has been rebuilt, and Mellie ends up choosing Olivia over Fitz. And when I say choosing Olivia, she goes as far as to say to Fitz, even in terms of our parenting, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not interacting with you directly anymore. She's basically saying, Olivia has told me I'm not allowed to talk to you, And she ends up telling Fitz any correspondence we have will be through our assistant, through our shared nanny, through our au pair. Okay. And other than that, we're not going to be talking. Fitz, crestfallen. He leaves, LBJ.
Good word usage. And not only did you use the word, but you said crestfallen. You followed that. You had the hand, you looked at the hand, and followed the hand down.
That's right.
Crestfallen. Everyone do it with me. Crestfallen. Crestfallen. Very good.
And that's what Fitz was, LBJ. He was crestfallen. Okay. And as far as we know, LBJ, he headed himself right on back to Vermont to play around with his institute, okay, where he's now a social justice advocate of the country and of the world.
Allegedly.
And so that is the Fitz and Olivia storyline, fast-tracked, LBJ. We stumbled into the Mellie storyline by talking about this. I think we just have to go on and go there.
We should totally talk about the Mellie storyline, but we have to give our justice to our friends in the chat. Who are conversing about everything that we've just discussed. And I love Cassie Place. How are you? Or is it Cassie Place? I like Cassie Place. What's up, Cassie Place? Cassie Place says, so Mellie still is Liv's puppet. Listen, Cassie Place. I've said this over and over again. There is a sisterhood going on with Mellie and Olivia. Mellie sees it as sisterhood. Olivia sees this as Pinocchio and Geppetto. I have no strength to hold me down. And Olivia is Geppetto. Mellie is Pinocchio. She is doing what she tells her to do. Remember, Olivia's model for this role is her father, and as well as her help brother, Cyrus. Remember, she was the help with Cyrus in the White House, and she's also got her father as the model. So she's got these two titans, these two powerhouse role models that she respects in her life that have provided this example to her to control Mellie Grant, the First Lady of the United States of America, who is a single woman and also a woman who has many titles: Moonshine Mellie, Fried Chicken Mellie, Wearing Mellie, Fresh Lady Mellie, Crying Mellie, Disdain Mellie, Crestfallen Mellie. You name it, she's every kind of Mellie. No, I'm sorry. I mean,
what was that one?
Crestfallen Mellie.
Crestfallen Mellie. That's right.
Exactly. Crestfallen Mellie. She's that's all those. Right. You name the Mellie, she's that Mellie. Okay.
Yes.
So Cassie Place, yes, she is the puppet. There's also some conversation going on in here, and Dan Blakemore, Grace, they're all talking about the Papa Pope moments, saying that Papa Pope really is now afraid of Olivia because he's essentially created this monster. Remember, I have said this, and I'm jumping ahead of myself, giving myself my own accolades because someone might not do it, but I can do it to myself because in 2 days, you got to do it. Like, you got to celebrate in 2 days, right?
Oh my gosh.
So here's the thing. Papa Pope, guys, has created this thing called Olivia Pope at this point. And Papa Pope has not it's almost as if the mentor has poured into the mentee, and now the mentee is surpassing the mentor. That's the goal of any successful relationship between mentor and mentee. Now, Olivia has Papa in her, and she's got Mama in her. And she is using Papa, Mama, plus Olivia the fixer in this new role that she is in. Sorry, my voice is still having issues. Hold on. Sorry about that. I thought I pushed mute on my microphone. I clearly cleared my throat in the mic. Sorry, guys. So Olivia is going through this whole bit, this whole power trip, essentially, that we are seeing her experience. And her father has no control because he has no button to push. And it's very clear. And she is her father times 35.
LBJ.
Times 35 times 70. And her father cannot stop her.
LBJ, I have, and you know what? I've said this now the last couple of episodes, LBJ. I just don't think that Rowan is as powerless and as defeated as he is pretending to be. I
I don't
just, I'm not buying it, LBJ.
I
I'm
don't think
not.
that I think that I agree with you, but I maintain that he is saving this. And I want to say what we normally said before we were in the situation we were in real life. When people say the Trump card, I'm trying to find new words to use. I don't like using that word. So he's using this bit card to play and say, I'm going to use this bit card and throw it down and shut the game down. Like you know what? He's got the only draw four. That's what I'm going to call it. He's got the only draw
Yes.
four in the deck of Uno that's left in the entire deck, okay?
Yes.
He's got the draw four and one more card. He's waiting to play the draw four plus that random yellow two that no one else can match, that no one else has in their thing. But you know, like, if this man has two cards, it has to be the draw four and yellow two. He's gonna go out on all of us. And this is not, we've not seen the draw four plus the yellow two from Rowan Pope. We've not seen it yet. So I think that yes, he still has some kind of control and some button somewhere he can push. Is he taking that option now? No, he's not taking that option.
Well, LBJ, this remains to be seen. I continue to be skeptical of a lot of the new relationships that are being built. And
come on and talk about it, because you and your President Foyne joint, that's the perfect segue, because I was like, what is Janiyah saying about this whole President Foyne joint? So if you're just tuning in to our Scandal recap, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you for joining. Tell a friend about the Scandal recap. Why? Because this is the final season of the Scandal recap. We won't be doing this anymore because there's no more shows to review after the season's over. We will be so what? Crestfallen. And so in the midst of us being crestfallen, we invite you to tell a friend about this conversation, to join in and chat with us. But Janiyah, guys, has been this entire season since we've met this fake president of Bashran, this Bashrani man. Janiyah has been smitten with this man. She's calling him President Foyne. President Foyne, I don't understand. You take it away. You talk about it. I want to sip my water out of my red cup. You go.
To be clear, I'm not calling him President Foyne. He is a President Foyne.
He was President Foyne.
He was President Foyne. He was, LBJ. That was an objectively beautiful man. There's just no arguing about this. But again, we're talking about him in past tense. We'll get to that. But LBJ, the relationship that I was calling out as being quite suspect, and I'll just nod to it, then we'll hop back to President Foyne. I was talking about the millionaire, LBJ. The millionaire that's just popped up.
Yes.
Okay, and now all of a sudden he's got Cyrus's ear, he's got Cyrus's tongue, he's got Cyrus's nectar. Okay, LBJ, all of a sudden he's in there. Where did he come from, LBJ? Not to mention, okay, let's talk about another relationship that's a little bit suspect. Okay, it's Jake. All right, Jake, you know, we've seen him many times turn up to be sitting at Rowan's side at unexpected moments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so, LBJ, I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm not buying it. Miss L in the chat agrees with me. She says, I'm not buying it either. Dude is holding his trump card until the very end. And let me tell you this. I will say this, LBJ. I believe that one of these people that is interacting with Olivia on a daily basis, where she believes that she has a sense of the relationship, I believe she's being manipulated, and I think that Papa Pope is behind it. So that's what I have to be on the record as saying, LBJ. And then
repeat that. You believe that Papa Pope is behind whose relationship?
He is behind one of these relationships. I think it is Jake. I think it is potentially LBJ, the millionaire, who's whispering in Cyrus's ear. Okay.
So who is Papa Pope? So then who is Papa Pope's ultimate go-to? Who's Papa Pope's answer? Like, remember, Papa Pope, he's got connections, but I don't know if Papa Pope truly has the resources, because the resources have kind of depleted. Like, Papa Pope ain't got no backing, unless he's lying and's got money in this fake black market thing he's selling bitcoins to people or something, you know?
And LBJ, he invented the Bitcoin. That's what you need to know, okay? The man, I mean, at the end of the day, when we entered the Scandal universe, this was the man that had all of the draw fours. Okay. He had all of the reverses. Okay.
And the draw twos.
And he had the draw twos, LBJ. And please don't forget that he also had those 2 blank cards that don't got nothing on them. Okay. You don't know what's up with those blank cards.
The instruction card, and the brand card. Yeah.
That's right. People just throw them out and then they get to say what that blank card is, LBJ. He had those too. Okay. So listen, at this point, I will never trust him. And I also know that Olivia, the more that she becomes like him, the more she's doing exactly what he always wanted her to do.
Janiyah, that's juicy. I can taste it.
Yeah,
I can taste it. That's palatable. That's palatable. So we've got crestfallen and palatable. Crestfallen, palatable. I like it. I like it. I really like it. Miss L says in the chat, Janiyah, she says, put a pin in this point to the end of the season at Janiyah, right? Janiyah, I think Miss L's onto something. Put a pin in it. You all know that I am a Rowan Pope fan. If Rowan Pope is behind this, I will have tears for our last episode, our last 2 episodes, because like I am all Rowan Pope. I am all Quinn Robin Lindsay, which let me have an aside for this moment, and I do not hate. I love seeing in the natural, I love seeing a pregnant Katie Lowe's play a pregnant Quinn in the episode. She's really pregnant in real life, and she was pregnant when they were filming. She's a mom now, and she was she's a great pregnant Quinn in the actual show. I love how they've written the pregnancy into the show, and she's making this entire thing work. I think it's very cool seeing her as this woman who's matriculated through all of this darkness to this moment in her life now, which, by the way, she was eating Gettysburger and she had some Union rings. Shonda, listen, if you're watching this, please, the foodie and me would love for you to invite myself and Janiyah to LA. We will stay in the same. We will find an Airbnb. Okay, you don't have to give us accommodations. We will find a place to stay.
It could be a day trip. We'll take the red eye in, red eye out.
We're on the east. Exactly. We will red eye in. We will red eye out. Listen, the only thing that we request is that we could walk the set, maybe be an extra in one scene, and if you can get us craft services to make us Gettysburger. Okay, we'll give you what we love on our burger. We can split the Union rings, whatever is on the menu at Gettysburger. We want to sample that and be extras in the scene. We've worked very hard this entire season, as well as of your show, to really promote and share and just talk about the goodness of Scandal with all the people who continue to tune in and watch the Scandal recap. That's our only request. If all the episodes are done, then we'll just hang it up and leave it alone. If there are more episodes to be shot, invite us, please. Thanks. That's all I've got.
Great pitch, LBJ. And Shonda, I will say we've really done our best to promote you here. Okay. I mean, we're doing our part. I mean, what about partnership? Shonda, that's all I'm saying. Okay. So we'll see. You guys, if any of this propaganda actually works, that would be so crazy. But I would also love it.
If it does, trust and believe, I will give you all a bat line into a private live stream. Be like, y'all, we made it. We're eating Gettysburger. Like, we're eating the Gettysburger bite. Like, crestfallen, palatable. Crestfallen, palatable. Yeah.
What's that name of that actress, again, who's playing that character that nobody likes? Quinn. What's her name? Yeah, I'm not going to be friends with her. I want to give you that heads up.
Nobody's hearing Janiyah.
I'm not going to be hanging out in the green room with her. Okay, I just want to really be transparent about that. But anyway, LBJ, back to the show. LBJ, we have right now, we've already mentioned so many of these relationships. I think we should talk about Jake just for a second.
Oh, there.
He wasn't in the episode very much. Okay, but the chat is talking about him, LBJ, and it's scrolled away, LBJ. Can you help me find the Jake-related comments? Because people were bringing him up. How did we see Jake tonight? Let's talk about Jake really quickly in the last episode. Jake in the last episode, his role has really become, and not just the last episode, but his role has really become, he's become the person that keeps reminding Olivia that she's made a choice. And he's saying to her, you can either be the woman that I wanted to run away with in the sun, or you can just lean into the choice that you've made and understand what comes along with that. So he's been the constant voice reminding her about the trade-offs that she's made. And LBJ, I just can't help but think about how similar his messaging is to the messaging of Papa Pope about the choices that Olivia's making. So maybe it's just because Jake had also been command, and so they're both telling her the same thing because they have the same perspective, or maybe it's because they're working together. So tonight we see Jake, when he talks with Olivia, here's a couple of times where we see Jake. We see Jake in a situation where Olivia is trying to mastermind a political situation in the Middle East. And we'll dig into that in just a minute. And what ends up happening is she comes up with, not Jake, she comes up with in that moment a scenario whereby a bunch of people are killed in order to accomplish her goal. And when she does it, Jake takes that opportunity to say to her, okay, you're getting it, you're command now. And he basically, he almost kind of strokes her ego a little bit while she's there doing that vicious work. The vicious work that she said would not be a part of her style of being command. And so that was Jake's role tonight. It was just to highlight the evolution of Olivia, you know, to kind of really pinpoint for her the way that she's making decisions that are not consistent with the way that she said she was going to lead command. So that's been Jake's role. He's like that little narrator voice.
Exactly. Some of the people in the chat are saying Jake has gotten smart since last season to present season. A couple of other people have been talking and saying that Jake is to be watched. Is Jake a puppet for someone else, or is Jake running his own program? Mm-hmm. There are a few different chains of thought going on in the live chat for in regards to Jake. Listen, if you are not watching us live, I don't know what your problem is. Listen, there are people listening to us live. Shout out to folks who are watching us and listening to us who have another hour and a half left before Scandal comes on. Char 90303, you are driving as usual, listening on the West Coast as you head home. Thank you so much for entrusting us to share about this show before you watch it for yourself and then come back to the YouTube video and talk about the show as if you are watching it fresh and you will have experienced this with us twice. Thank you so much for taking that time out of your life. We totally appreciate that. Janiyah, you talked about Jake, and I think Jake, yes, is to be watched. Yes, I think Papa Pope is to be watched tonight. We're looking at all these different relationships. Let's look at the relationship of this new man who's trying to walk into politics. I don't remember what his character's name is. I did not take that many notes tonight, but we have his notes.
Millionaire. Call him Millionaire.
We have Mr. Millionaire, and we also know Mr. Millionaire as who? Uncle Daddy. Uncle Daddy, listen, his character name, now by way of background, this man's character name on another show, I believe it's on TNT, called Claws with Niecy Nash. He plays a man literally called Uncle Daddy. I won't tell you about Uncle Daddy because Uncle Daddy is some kind of deviant, okay? That man is some kind of deviant. Just know that they call this man Uncle Daddy. Uncle Daddy is a millionaire on this show. Literally, and he's got access on Scandal, like he's got access on his other show. So he's Uncle Daddy on that show and Uncle Daddy on Scandal. Uncle Daddy is working on Cyrus. I'm talking about working on Cyrus, like trying to screw in an IKEA screw with an Allen wrench on a desk that you need to set up for your college dorm room, working on him. Like that one thing, you're like, why can't I get this to screw in tight, working on Cyrus this entire season, right? And he is working on Cyrus so much so that he got Cyrus to give in. He got Cyrus to give in, and Cyrus gave him a kiss on the lips tonight. And it took Cyrus by surprise. Now, how did we get here? The man's been working on Cyrus. Go back and watch the last 2 episodes of this Scandal recap. The last 3 episodes. He's been working on him for a while, and tonight he won. And someone tweeted, one of my friends tweeted on Twitter, they said, why is this man here? What is this man doing? Why is he doing what he's doing? And I'm going to read you my reply. She's like, I don't understand this entire thing. She said, what's his angle? I said, he's got 3 angles. His angles include, and here Twitter's trying to load iOS. Oh, here's Twitter loading. If you have an iPhone, you know iOS is wilding out on everybody and it's really slow. So bear with me as I put my tweets. I don't have an iPhone 10 or the iPhone 8 that's out now. But I'll read to you what I said to my friend Keela Crane, who is an avid Scandal watcher. And I said to her, I said, listen, his angle is 3 things. It's not coming up for me. But I remember the first one. The first one I said, hold on, here we go. Here we go.
Get that B613 out of your phone, LBJ.
Get out of my phone, B613. What are you doing? Get out of my phone. Here we go. He's got a
Chaka Khan it out, LBJ.
Chaka Khan. Here we go. So here it is. She says, I swear I don't understand why this tech guy, the millionaire, is in this office. The hell? #scandal. I said, listen, he's got a few angles. The few angles include lust, power, and access. She said, I get it. In that order, LOL. This man is after lust, power, and access. We don't know. The lust is Cyrus. Cyrus is the gay mafia's epitome of power right now, political power. I believe there are varying levels of power, but this man is the epitome. He's the epitome of homosexual political power. Okay, let's go there. So, and he is respected. He is known. He is the person who has the prime seat at the HRC dinner in DC every year. You can see this man with 3 tables up front and center watching Gaga perform at HRC. Like, he is that person, right?
Yeah.
And he's got access to the president of the United States of America, not just the sitting president, but the immediate past president. Yeah. And he has a working history of the US of A. And not only does he have access to these presidents, he is the sitting vice president of the United States of freaking America. Making America great again, I guess.
Well, LBJ.
Oh, no. Are you going to shut me down? You have to ring the doorbell?
No, please continue.
Don't do it. Wait, I'm going somewhere with this.
Go ahead.
Then on top of that, the man, he's seeking power. He wants to. He's testing the waters with Cyrus to see how much access to the power he's going to let him see. He's asked him for a tour of the White House. So Cyrus is allowing this man to casually come into his life while he is getting access to all of this stuff that Cyrus is not paying attention to. And we've seen Cyrus fall for the D.
Yeah.
We can do a for the D challenge for Cyrus. How about y'all do a for the D challenge right now in the chat for Cyrus? We will read your for the D challenge for Cyrus. For the D, Cyrus is for the D. Do Cyrus #Cyrus for the D in the chat. We will read #Cyrus for the D. But Cyrus would do a lot for the D in Scandal. Third, this man wants access. He wants access to something. Does he want access to secrets? Does he want access to clearances and security? Does he want access to push a button to shut it all down because he is a worker of iniquity on behalf of someone else? Maybe a pope, not Papa Pope, but maybe Mama Pope. Has Mama Pope sent this man to the White House to access Cyrus, the weak link in the White House at this point? Who still has a daughter with unpressed edges? You tell me.
LBJ, we are not going to hate on those edges, okay? Because you know what? We're going #natural here. And LBJ, you know what else?
Yes, shout out to Jania's hair, everybody. Janiyah changes her hairstyle all the time. Once again, a recap. Shout out to Jania's hair. Real applause for Jania's hair, everyone. Yes.
And
it looks fantastic.
Thank you, LBJ. And as usual, don't get used to it. You never know.
Don't forget, she has a pole in the back of her apartment. Don't forget that pole back there.
LBJ, and I live in Brooklyn, so there are hair stores everywhere you turn.
You can put your hair on a layaway if you want to.
That's right. Every color and shade you can ever want. LBJ, I am loving what people in the chat are saying about this billionaire. They don't have faith in Cyrus. They're saying Cyrus can't handle it. Rikera says, I don't believe that Cyrus can handle Uncle Daddy. Look at him. He looks like he has a pickup truck with a Confederate flag, but he's a billionaire and an open homosexual. Cyrus can't handle him. Mrs. Creole Davis is talking about how Uncle Daddy he's always doing something. In tonight's episode, Uncle Daddy's little hands just tweeting away the whole time. You know, and he came up with an explanation, but the point is he's up to something. Okay, Cyrus is out of his league, LBJ. Now, here's my take on all of this, and why don't we just finish this storyline out really quickly here?
Oh
So,
yes, and I see we have a For the D challenge in the hopper that I'll share at the end from my wife, who
okay.
is giving us a For the D challenge. If you have a For the D challenge, go ahead and put it in the chat now so we can recap it as we close out the Cyrus storyline. Go ahead, Janaya.
Yay! Okay. So the Cyrus storyline, it really kind of follows up what was happening last episode. You remember last episode, Mellie decided she wanted a war. She wanted a war. She wanted to go to war on behalf of President Fine and his country. Because what? She wants him to be her number one boo. Okay. So she's ready to go to war, LBJ. And she works with Olivia. Long story short, they get there. They decide they're going to go to war. So for this episode, Cyrus has been deployed to go to Congress to go and negotiate with people on the Hill to get them to vote for this war. We know that Mellie alone cannot wage war. She really needs partnership on the Hill in order to be able to do that, right? And so Cyrus's job is to go and do that negotiating. So as we see Cyrus talking with people on the Hill, he's talking to Senator this and Senator that, LBJ. We see over in the corner, literally in the corner, while these conversations are happening, while these negotiations are taking place, we see billionaire Uncle Daddy over in the corner on his phone. And he's not even, mannerly enough, LBJ, to have it on silent. We're literally hearing it bing, bop, and boop. It's hashtag rude, okay? But the point is, LBJ, even as he was over there in the corner, he was taking power and energy in the space. I don't want us to forget about that. He knew his phone was making noise. He knew he was distracting Cyrus, and he continued to do it, okay? He just kept drawing Cyrus's focus. Now, in addition to drawing Cyrus's focus and sitting over there looking like a dope, he also made himself known to every single politician that came into that room. Now, if you think about this, LBJ, when is a vice president's spouse, partner, friend, cousin just sitting in the room while negotiations are happening? Okay.
Never.
This doesn't happen. You know, when I'm having a meeting, I don't say, hey, LBJ, you want to just come through and sit over in here while I'm having this meeting? No, that's not what you do. And so so already Uncle Daddy has done something to get himself into that space. What does it take Uncle Daddy to work day? What is this about? So first of all, LBJ, his presence there to me is mad suspect. Okay. Second of all, he's distracting, he's drawing focus. And then at the end of the day, what does he do? He takes the plan that Cyrus is executing, the plan that would lead us into the war that Mellie and Olivia have chosen, and he turns his mind. He shows Cyrus some bar charts. And I just want you guys to know that line charts and bar charts, you can make those on Excel pretty easily. Okay,
hey,
that's not
fancy
Excel
anymore. Queen. Listen, you are the Microsoft Excel queen.
Well, that's exactly right.
He was like, look at this. Look at this. He's like shaking his phone like he couldn't even see it shake. He's like, look at this. I got something on my phone. Look at this. He's like, oh, he's like, let me see it. Let me see it. What is that? He's like, this is my algorithm. Want me to show you my good algorithm? Yeah, I'm a billionaire tech man. I got an algorithm. You know what an algorithm is? Look at my Confederate algorithm.
And LBJ, he flashes his algorithm all around hither and thither, and he uses it to convey to Cyrus that the war is a losing idea. Do you see? From sitting in an easy chair over in the side of the corner, he's determined the whole fate of this war, right? So let's not play Uncle Daddy short. Who is he working for? LBJ, that pretty much wraps up. So what ends up happening is that basically it comes down to Cyrus's tie-breaking vote that will determine whether we go to war as a country. And Cyrus decides to go and confront Olivia and say that he doesn't want to do it. You know, he doesn't want to wage war because Uncle Daddy told him he shouldn't. Charlene McKinney said, I was surprised at Cyrus and his testicular fortitude tonight.
Come on, testicular fortitude.
But you know what? It was testicular fortitude, but who's manipulating who here? Okay, I just don't know. So LBJ, that's pretty much the storyline, and then we wrap up where you kicked us off, LBJ, with the two of them bonding over this power play that Cyrus has just made. And Cyrus says to him, to Uncle Daddy, you know, you might be good at politics after all. They spread a little nectar around all over the place. And then that's the end of that storyline for tonight's episode.
Awesome. Shout out to everybody who has contributed to the Cyrus for the D challenge. My wife, Candace Brown, has kicked us off. Let's drop a beat. Boom. Cyrus will kill for the D. Hey, Cyrus take pills for the D. Hey, Cyrus changes will for the D. Hey, Cyrus go to war for the D. Hey, Uncle Daddy talking pillow talk for the D. Hey. And there's another one. Cyrus won't braid his baby's hair for the D. Thank you, Miss Krina Washington. Anybody else got one? Cyrus has a female in his man bits for the D. Thank you, Miss Harmony. Who else has one? Any more? Thank you, everyone. I think I got all of them for the D. Oh no, Cyrus, Dan Blakemore. He'll almost have his husband killed for the D. Thank you, Dan. Okay, yes. Those are our Cyrus for the D challenges tonight. I hope you all enjoyed them.
Oh,
so good. That was so good.
That was
Tonight, your recap for that entire thing was so on point because Cyrus has now become smitten by the very thing that Cyrus played. No, that he once played.
Yeah.
Remember, he's so volatile and vulnerable right now. He's done this. Remember, as we just saw in the 4D challenge, we've seen the things that Cyrus will do once he figured out I'm being played.
Yep.
He's done this. And so what will happen when he figures out that Uncle Daddy is out to get him?
LBJ,
it remains to be seen. As I say every week, it remains to be seen. Thank you, everybody who participated in the 4D challenge for Cyrus. Shout out to Patricia Weatherspoon. Thank you for joining in. She said, by the way, backing up a few steps, Jake is a snake, and Samantha Brooke, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. Has hit us with all these snake emojis in the live chat. This live chat is growing and growing and growing. Listen, Akosa was here as well. Rakira, you joined us. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us who's just tuned in.
Yeah.
Let's do, Normina's Harmony guy says, let's do Mellie for the D next because she's smitten too. Do we need to do Mellie for the D challenge? Okay, listen, we'll close out with your Mellie for the D challenges, but let me just say this. Somebody needs to hit the D is deceased for the D. For Mellie's D. Like, somebody got to shut the whole thing down. I need a line that's going to, like, put the period to the whole thing because that was shut down tonight.
Because it's over.
It's over. It's over. Now, I think that that's a good point, though, to go there because before we talk about Mellie's for the D challenge, this episode was called Adventures in Babysitting. And I think that we saw a babysitting from a few different angles. We saw babysitting with Olivia and Papa Pope. Olivia thinking she's Papa Pope. Papa Pope is allowing Olivia this opportunity to flex her muscle. Papa Pope, some of you believe that Papa Pope has something tied up in those dinosaur bones that he is hiding. That it's just a ploy. That could potentially be the case. Remember, he said, I am the hell in the high water. I am command. Power is always in command. He's saying now that he does not have power anymore, but does he really not have power anymore? Then we look into the episode. We look to the relationship between of Cyrus and millionaire, billionaire tech guy, Uncle Daddy. And we see that Uncle Daddy, Cyrus is babysitting his feelings for Uncle Daddy, and he essentially gives in to his feelings for Uncle Daddy, and they have a few moments lip to lip with each other. Let's then take a look at Jake. Is Jake really babysitting something right now? Is Jake working for someone else? Is Jake an operative for another force working behind the scenes in Scandal? Is Jake babysitting in the sense of being the babysitter, reporting back to the parents while the parents are on the date via text or some other covert mechanisms to say, this is what Olivia is doing, this is what her father's doing, this is what America is doing right now.
LBJ, he's babysitting baby command Olivia. Don't you see he's like ushering her into her evilhood?
Totally.
He's definitely babysitting. For sure.
Yep, he is. He is. There's so many opportunities to have babies sat in this episode, right?
Mad babies getting sat, yo. Mad babies.
I'm talking about sitting down like babies, squishy face and all.
And you would know because you have a baby.
And Mrs. Creo Davis, you are always on point. She said Jake is babysitting his drunk wife. Can we shout out that nobody still cares about Vanessa?
I care care, Vanessa. I'm sorry you're not.
Why do you? Okay, so here's the thing: should we start caring about Vanessa? Why do we still hear people asking about Vanessa when Vanessa is not to be cared about since like last season, mid last season? Remember our sad trombones? Nobody cares about Vanessa. They are still asking about Vanessa. Why are they still asking about Vanessa? Who's being led to believe that this woman still exists? Is she still in existence? Is she working with Mama Pope? What is going on with Vanessa? We still hear her name mentioned. It's like the Oprah Legends Dinner. We speak your name. We speak your name. They are saying Vanessa, Vanessa, Vanessa. Stop saying Vanessa. We don't want to hear it, okay? We don't want to speak her name because nobody cares about Vanessa.
Oh my gosh. Vanessa came up tonight when Fitz was talking with Jake, and Fitz was having a failed attempt to really see what was going on with Jake and to fill out Jake's perspective on things. And Jake basically shut him down. You know, Fitz was trying to chit chat. What's up with you and Olivia? What's up with you and your wife? What you been up to? What you doing on weekends? How's your mama doing? How your mom and them? And Jake was not feeling it. He did not at all have time for banter and for chit chat. And he shut Fitz down. And Fitz, everyone's telling you, go back to Vermont. And LBJ, we started to talk through Mellie before she told Fitz to go back to Vermont. What happened? What negotiation took place there that led her to that point where she did finally bid him adieu at Olivia's calling?
Let's hit this and quit it. Oh, you take it away. Go ahead, go.
All right, I'll kick it off, LBJ. And so again, quick look back to last episode. Mellie wants to go to war for her number one boo. And so we get into this episode, and you know, Mellie is once again, she's trying to do what she can do to get this war going. And then she gets really frustrated with Olivia. We talked about this already. She gets frustrated with Olivia when she finds out that Olivia, you know, has resurrected B613. And for the record, LBJ, somebody in the chat, I gotta find it. Somebody in the chat called out the fact that she acted like she didn't know about B613, but she did know. She knew back in season 5, and I think it might have been Grace. I'm not sure who it was.
Yeah, I think it was Grace. Grace called her bluff and said she knows about B613 back when folks were going down, and they told her about B613 when they were all having this come to Jesus meeting
back in season
about B613.
5.
Yeah.
It's scrolled away. I tried to find it again. But LBJ, long story short, you know, Mellie is so frustrated that she gives Olivia the charge to, in an above board way, make the war happen. Now, as we go throughout the episode, we see that the war cannot happen in the above board way. And so what ends up happening? Mellie is an emotional wreck. Okay, she's now having these interactions with President Fine where they're like having these moments of like 30 seconds of hardcore makeout, and then nectar flowing everywhere, hither, thither, to, fro. Okay, nectar's everywhere, and then she'll come back to herself and say, "Oh no, but I'm a good Southern belle. I can't do this." And then she doesn't ever finish it. So really, I was coming up with a joke about President Blue Balls, but we'll just let the man rest in peace. But anyway, so she kept getting him all riled up, LBJ, but never executing the final mission. And so we see her becoming more and more emotionally entrenched with President Fine. And by the end of the episode, she has all but said to him, I need you to find a way to get through the situation in a way that you live, because I don't want you to die. She basically says, I'll paraphrase. She basically says, listen, I care about your country, but I care about you. I care about the treaty and I care about the Middle East, but I care about you. And he basically says to her, listen, I want you to be my number one boo, but my real number one boo is my country. And what he says is, I've got to go back. I have to go back. If I don't go back, I'm going to be a coward. And that's not what I owe my number one boo of my country. And she understands that. They have another makeout session. She doesn't want to execute final plan. And he leaves. She then goes back to Olivia, okay? And she says, forget everything I said, Olivia. All that above board stuff, you know, listen, get that white hat, throw it away. I don't even know why I brought it out the closet. Put it away. Because you know what? Just get it done. by any means necessary. And she basically sanctions a B613 activity. She says, I don't want to know the details, but Olivia, I need you to make sure that my man is safe. And long story short, next day, Mellie is saying to President Bashran, again, in the midst of a makeout session, she says to him, you know, you can go back to your country now and you'll be restored in power. Don't ask me how we did it, but we did. You'll be fine. LBJ, he's not fine. Okay, because when he is getting onto the plane to go back to his country via Turkey, to go back to his country, LBJ, the plane got blowed up. Okay, and so President Fine, you did, President Fine. President Fine is gone, LBJ. Now we'll never know how he is in bed, okay, because Mellie couldn't execute once again.
I cannot.
Okay, all right, we didn't even get to see him with his shirt off. Come on, Mellie, you're the worst. You know, not executing Mellie. That's another one, okay? And so LBJ, that is the story of the president of President Fine, president of Bashran, and his demise, LBJ. And this is definitely the time for us to hear about what Mellie would do for the D, because we know she'll at least go to war.
Boom, 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 boom. Mellie gonna start a war for the D. Hey, Mellie gonna leave her kids for the D. Hey, Mellie should have given Fine nectar for the D. Hey, Mellie he gonna be blown into bits for the D. Hey, Mellie gonna share her hoots for the D. Hey, Mellie gonna start a war for the D. Hey, Mellie gonna speak in code for the D. Hey, Mellie go hold Liv's hand for the D. Hey, Mellie ain't gonna say no words for the D. Hey. Mellie ain't gonna get Mellie ain't gonna get no more D. Hey!
Mellie ain't gonna get no more D. LBJ, Mellie cannot get D to save her life. There was the D sitting right there, and Mellie just let it get onto a plane and get blowed up. LBJ.
So speaking of being the whole blowed up, they're gonna get blowed up. Let's talk about this whole blowed up thing. So there's a few different thought patterns online right now with folks talking about how this whole thing went down. So if you've not seen the episode, we talked about Adventures in Babysitting. Let me take a few steps back. One scenario I did not talk about was the niece that we met of the president of Bashran, of the Bashrani president last week. Remember, there's a niece who loves and admires Jasmine. Jasmine, a whole new world. Oh,
that used to be me and LBJ's song when we used to think we were gonna get a record deal. That was me and LBJ's. We used to be auditioning in the car. Nobody else was there. We had those lyrics down.
Hashtag Throwback Thursday.
Yeah. Couldn't imagine being out.
At all. So let's go through this. So we've got the president of Bashran, who's in Washington, Columbia. A coup has just risen in Bashran. This man can't go back to his palace and sip his wonderful tea from those fantastic goblets that he has, and I really need to get my hands on.
No tea for you.
No tea for me. Then we've got that, and then we also find out that he has a niece who's studying at the university in some school in Washington, D.C. And they learn that she is a fan of Olivia Pope. So they find this niece and she admires Olivia's work. They also get this niece because now it's a security breach. It's a security issue to protect her because there's a coup in the country. Because there's a coup, this man technically isn't the president anymore. But because Mellie wants some of the D at this point in time, they have to now protect this man. And he is now, he's not an enemy of the state, but he's like a whatever of the state. And they're protecting this man. They protect this man. They shouldn't be protecting him because he's not a president. They're like, they give him asylum. He should go back to his country, but Mellie can't see this man go to be put to death because she can't have death before the D. She needs D before death. although D leads death. Okay, how about that? And so Mellie has this man in the country, and they protect his niece at QPA. The folks at QPA are protecting the niece. They're like, give us your stuff, give us your devices. Don't say anything. This little woman The mama gets her devices, gives them to them, and then she takes them back and she leaves. Dummy doesn't realize that you've got 752 Huck and Quinn and Charlie, who will track you down, cut you to pieces, put you in a bag, and drop you to the bottom of the Potomac, never to be found again. And they track her down, but they track her down with her girlfriend, like her .com girlfriend, like her Jazz Lounge girlfriend, like her girlfriend who was Pink to Pink girlfriend.
Right.
And they track her down. They bring her and girlfriend back, and they go through this whole like, I can't be a lesbian in my country. I have to be a lesbian over here in the free world. Can I be a lesbian? They're like, yes, be a lesbian. Do whatever you want to do, but you got to be protected. And just go back with your uncle when it's all said and done. Like, your uncle's gonna go back. It's all gonna be well. He's gonna be restored as president, and you'll be safe. We'll take care of you. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll do the other. Remember, before this conversation, there was some nonverbal stuff that went on. Olivia and Mellie held hands in the sisterhood.
Mm-hmm.
Mellie said, I need to make this thing right and make something happen and make it go away. But I don't want to be implicated. You do what you need to do. We heard something from Olivia we've not heard in several episodes, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I love about tonight's episode. We got classic Olivia in the sense that we heard these few words from her, and I can't sing Stevie Wonder and say these 3 words, but Olivia said, consider it handled, Madam President. When was the last time we heard Olivia say consider it handled?
And
I love that.
And LBJ, let me pepper on one other thing that Miss L calls out in the chat. She says, I love that they went back to season 1 with what do you want when Liv talk to Mellie on the balcony. Yes. That was another throwback.
Classic Olivia.
Yeah.
Classic Olivia. So Olivia, they put one hand in. I'm like, I've never seen Babysitters Club, but maybe that's a Babysitters Club thing. They held hands, they squeezed hands, and they continued on. And Mr. President, Bashran man, T-Sipper gets on the plane, private jet. Looks like the same private jet that Olivia was about to be sent away to the island on when her daddy said, go away to this island. Then we see Niece get on. Niece gets on. Quinn feels amazing because she has now gladiated an amazing situation that could have caused a war. And what happens? Well, remember, the war was voted down because the vice president said no, right? Mellie needed something to happen. So what happened? Olivia said, I've got a little sachet of nectar I'm going to take out of here. And I'm going to pull out a little nectar right here. And I'm going to take a little nectar and miss a little nectar up in these people's faces. And boosh! The plane blew up with Bashran T-Sipper, President Foyne, and his niece.
Yeah. Gone.
Blown to smithereens. Blown to smithereens.
LBJ, they got blowed up. They
blowed up. Not one person online does not think that Olivia was behind this explosion. LBJ. I agree. I cannot disagree because she is a mad woman right now. Remember, her father has created a monster. Her mother can potentially bring her in, but we've not seen Mama yet. We have to see the clashing of the parental titans before this thing is said and done. I will stick and hold to that. But Olivia is unlike her father. She is going for blood out the gate. She cares not. She cares not.
Well, LBJ,
And this nectar smells amazing, by the way. This is good nectar, guys. Very good nectar. Look at that's good nectar.
That's that good stuff.
Yeah, this is that good stuff.
Now, LBJ, I'm gonna throw a little something out there. Okay, so just are your socks on tight? Hold on to your socks, LBJ.
Hold it. I'm holding.
There's a person that's been hanging around with us as a gladiator for a long time.
Janiyah, go there. We've talked about this. Yes, go there. I know what you're going to say.
He's even managed to impregnate one of us. Okay? But
Janiyah, are you pregnant? Janiyah, are you pregnant?
Hashtag.
You have news for us?
Listen, can we pause the chat so Larry can wash his mouth out with soap? You better knock on wood, wash your mouth out with soap. I bind up Shaka Khan. shocker.
Well, you said us as if you had some news. You don't say,
I meant us, the gladiators.
we don't review This Is Us. We only say this is. We only say us when we're watching This Is Us.
LBJ, I Shaka Khan that demon right now. Okay, don't you even play. And LBJ, let me tell you, there is someone here that has gained our trust or has tried. Okay, and that is Charlie. Now, Charlie in tonight's episode, he did something a little strange. Charlie tonight, he had been charged by his wife, they're not married yet, his fiance Quinn, to watch Jasmine. Now, this is a very simple task for anyone that has been trained under command. They don't care about people. Okay, they're robots, they're monsters. So when someone is sitting there crying, oh, I'm so sad and grumpy that I can't, play with my girlfriend and be free in the land, he doesn't care. But LBJ, for some reason, he let this chick not only be alone by herself, he let her use his cell phone. Now, let's just say,
Janiyah, pay attention to the details.
Now,
you are in the details. You are on it, Janiyah. I wasn't going to do this.
This has to be done. This has to be done, LBJ, because what has happened here is the armor has been infiltrated. There's a chink in the armor, LBJ. Who has scratched it? That is the question. And I have to say, right now, Charlie, you are mad suspect to me because to me, his task was so simple, and he tried to blame his new emotion on the fact that he's going to be a father. Oh, I guess it's just my burgeoning, fatherhood instincts that had me just to be so compassionate to young Jasmine, who was just mourning her loved one. LBJ, no, Charlie, we are not buying it. All right, because even Huck, LBJ, who we know has been very intentional about managing his programming. Even Huck has to choose to be empathetic. It is not something that comes to him naturally at all. And so we're not buying it, Charlie. Charlie had something to do with that plane blowing up. And so did Yasmin. I'm going to go ahead and say it, LBJ. I don't trust any of them. So that's my suspicion there, that Charlie is in cahoots with somebody. I'm going to go ahead and say Papa Pope, okay, and that he has absolutely, and I'm leading right into our predictions now. You see,
go there. Go there. Yeah, totally. Go there.
Because LBJ, my prediction is that we're going to find out that Charlie cannot be trusted. Number one, Quinn, we already know you aren't the best. So the fact that you picked a jerk to fall in love with, no one will be surprised by that. So Charlie can't be trusted. I think he's working with Papa Pope. That's my first prediction. My second prediction, LBJ, is that Jake is also somehow working with Papa Pope. And I think that somehow through the course of this season, LBJ, the original command, is somehow calling all of his people back to him to restore his power. And I see Charlie being the beginning of that. And there was an important thing that happened tonight that someone in the chat called out, and I think I caught it. It was a Kosua O. Called out the fact that Papa Pope called Fitz son tonight, right? That is part of Fitz's indoctrination. That's the way Papa Pope indoctrinates all his drones, his robots. So what game is he playing on his minions? What game is he playing on Fitz right now, LBJ? Papa Pope, he is wielding control, LBJ. He is the hell in the high water. He told us that a long time ago, and I think we about to get drowned in a flood. That's all I got to. That's my prediction, LBJ.
Well, listen. You better listen, because we shall not be drowned in the flood, because LBJ will build an ark that will sustain said flood. We shall march 2 by 2, gladiator by gladiator, into this ark, and we will be sustained. Why? Because we crack codes here on the Scandal Recap. And we will not be taken down. We will not go under. We will go above. We will fly above. We will float above, and we shall land on dry land, and we shall be free. We shall be safe, and we shall be saved. Why? Because B613 will fall. It will be Olympus. It will fall, and it will never be seen again. And I am predicting that we are going to lose a principal in this show before it's said and done.
Yeah, Normina's Harmony said it. Gladiators don't get happy endings, LBJ.
They don't get happy endings. We are going to lose Olivia and or Papa Pope. And I really hope, because I will cry if they have to kill each other. If they have to kill. Exactly. You saw that? That's us on the ark watching them like set it off, watching Cleo get shot up like Jada Pinkett Smith did by the police. And Cleo's on the plane, and Cleo's like, and she's like going down. Like, it can't be Cleo and we're Jada Pinkett Smith on the Gladiator arc. But I will tell you. Oh, wait. Dan Blakemore says safer than a known way. Hashtag Dame Richardson. Shout out to Howard University. It's so funny. HU, you know. But seriously, I think after tonight's episode, Janaya, it has taken a turn. We've predicted that this turn would come. It cannot be a smooth ride to the end, guys. It cannot be a smooth ride. Tonight is the beginning of the end, seriously. And I think that we are going to lose someone very important to the show before it's all said and done. There might be some collateral damage here and there, but no one to really make any kind of major difference. I don't think we'll lose Marcus, Janaya. I don't think we may not even lose Vanessa, although no one cares about Vanessa. Nobody cares about Vanessa.
Lose her. We can't find her.
Exactly. But she still lives in the script. I think that we are going to lose a major principal character in the show, if not two, before this show goes off the air. And it's going to be something we will always say that Scandal did it for us.
Sweet Z said Quinn might lose that baby.
No, you cannot do that.
It's possible, LBJ. No. It's possible, LBJ. You know, I think what we have to always remember is that there is literally, I mean, as much as we think we know the show, as much as we think we know these characters, they always continue to knock our wigs back, LBJ. And LBJ, did we go through the Scandal Jam session already? I know.
I gave the Scandal.
We hit the Janis Joplin.
It was Janis Joplin tonight.
It was Janis. That was the only one.
Grace, is it Grace or who brought this? Mrs. Creo Davis is always bring something out. She says sun is their trigger word. It wakes up their person. You are onto something with sun, and I didn't want to really give it any credence in my thought because I need to see it one more time to really see what my gut is saying. But I know that we need to pay attention to this. I say every time, nothing in the script, especially in its final season, is written for naught. This man has intentional things that he does and says to make ish happen. And I don't know how many more episodes we have. I do know that Thanksgiving is coming and Christmas is coming. This show will end in 2018. There will be breaks, and so we will be apart from each other. You will have time to gather your thoughts and your predictions and your gut checks. Go back, rewatch the episodes. We will do the same thing. We will commit to coming back and making this thing happen. When the breaks come, we will take the breaks, but we will come back and we will be here to crack this code before the code is revealed. If we get the Gettysburgers and the Union Rings, we will be there. But I promise you, we will do this thing and we're going to build this arc before the scene is over. And we will survive this hell and this high water. Until the next time, I am Larry Brown Jr. with the Scandal Recap. This is my fantastic friend Janaya, who is our other host for the Scandal Recap. We love you. Thanks so much for watching us. God bless you and good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.